Max Planck was a very important scientist who changed the way we understand the world. He was born on April 23, 1858, in Kiel, Germany. Even as a young boy, Max loved learning about nature and how things work. He studied hard in school and later went to university to learn physics, which is the science of matter, energy, and how they interact. At that time, many scientists thought they knew almost everything about physics, but Max Planck would soon show there was much more to discover. When Max Planck was a student, he learned about something called thermodynamics, which is the study of heat and energy. This became his favorite subject. After finishing his studies, he became a professor and taught physics at universities in Munich and later in Berlin. He was a quiet and serious man who enjoyed thinking deeply about difficult problems. One of the biggest questions in physics during his time was about something called black body radiation. A black body is an object that absorbs all light and heat that hits it, and then emits radiation depending on its temperature. Scientists wanted to understand how this radiation worked, but their equations did not match what they saw in experiments. In the year 1900, Max Planck solved this problem in a way that surprised everyone. He proposed a new idea: energy is not released in a smooth, continuous flow but in tiny packets called quanta. This idea was so strange that even Planck himself did not fully believe it at first. He called his theory on the theory of the energy distribution law of the normal spectrum, and it marked the beginning of a new field called quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is the study of how tiny particles like atoms and electrons behave. Without Planck's work, we would not have many modern technologies like computers, lasers, or solar panels. Before Planck's discovery, scientists used classical physics, which worked well for large objects like planets or balls but failed for very small things. For example, classical physics said that a hot object like a stove should emit ultraviolet light infinitely as it gets hotter, which is impossible. This was called the ultraviolet catastrophe. Planck's idea of quanta fixed this problem. He said energy could only be released in specific amounts, like steps on a ladder. This changed everything. Later, scientists like Albert Einstein used Planck's ideas to explain how light works, leading to the concept of photons, or particles of light. Planck's discovery was so important that he received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1918. The Nobel Committee said his work opened new paths for the advancement of science. Planck continued his research and became one of the most respected scientists in the world. He worked with other great minds, such as Albert Einstein and Niels Bohr, to develop quantum theory further. Even when he was older, Planck kept teaching and sharing his knowledge. During his life, Planck faced many challenges, including World War I and World War II. Despite these difficult times, he never stopped believing in the power of science to improve the world. He once said, "Science cannot solve the ultimate mystery of nature because, in the end, we ourselves are part of the mystery we are trying to solve." This shows how humble he was, even after achieving so much. Max Planck's work is still used today. For example, when engineers design LED lights or doctors use MRI machines, they rely on quantum mechanics. The Planck constant, a number he calculated to describe the size of energy quanta, is one of the most important numbers in physics. It is so vital that in 2019, scientists redefined the kilogram, a unit of weight, using the Planck constant. This ensures that measurements are accurate everywhere in the world. Planck was also a leader in the scientific community. He helped rebuild German science after World War I, and served as the president of the Kaiser Wilhelm Society, a leading research organization. Today, this group is called the Max Planck Society and includes over 80 institutes studying everything from biology to space. It is one of the most respected scientific organizations in the world. Max Planck retired from teaching in 1926, but kept working almost until his death in 1947. He lived through 2 world wars and saw many changes in science and society. Through it all, he remained dedicated to discovering the truth. His life teaches us that even the biggest problems can be solved with creativity and hard work. To understand Planck's impact, let's look at an example. Imagine you are holding a glowing light bulb. Classical physics would say the light is a wave, like waves in the ocean. But quantum mechanics says the light is made of tiny particles, photons, which are like small packets of energy. This dual nature, acting as both waves and particles, is a key idea in quantum theory. Planck's work made this possible. Another example is the color of heated metal. If you heat a piece of iron, it first glows red, then yellow, and finally white. Classical physics could not explain why this happens, but Planck's quantum theory did. He showed that the color depends on the amount of energy released by the quanta. Red light has lower energy quanta, while white light has higher energy quanta. Planck's ideas also helped scientists understand the structure of atoms. Before quantum mechanics, people thought electrons orbited the nucleus like planets around the sun. But quantum theory showed that electrons exist in specific energy levels or shells around the nucleus. This explains why materials have different properties and how chemical reactions work. Max Planck's story is not just about science. It is also about courage. When he first shared his quantum idea, many scientists disagreed with him. It took years for others to accept it. But Planck believed in his discovery, even when it was unpopular. This teaches us that new ideas often face resistance, but persistence is key. Planck received many awards besides the Nobel Prize. He was given honorary degrees from universities around the world and became a member of important science academies. His name is now used for scientific concepts like the Planck length, Planck time, and Planck temperature. These are the smallest possible measurements of space, time, and heat, based on his constant. In his later years, Planck gave lectures about science and philosophy. He believed science and religion could work together to explain life's mysteries. He said, both religion and science need for their activities the belief in God, and moreover God stands for the former in the beginning, and for the latter at the end of the whole thinking. Max Planck's legacy is everywhere. The quantum revolution he started led to inventions like transistors, which are the building blocks of computers. It also helped develop nuclear energy, although Planck did not work on this directly. His ideas continue to inspire scientists exploring topics like quantum computing and dark matter. To summarize, Max Planck was born on April 23, 1858, and became one of the most influential physicists in history. His quantum theory changed science forever, leading to new technologies and deeper understanding of the universe. Despite facing doubts and challenges, he pushed forward with his research, showing the importance of curiosity and determination. Today, his name lives on in constants, institutions, and the endless curiosity of scientists worldwide.